Alright, now that should be recording. Um, Now today we're gonna talk about map skills. Uh, Mostly we're gonna go through grid references. We're gonna go through the compass, and we're also gonna go through just reading the map, trying to figure out what the key means, different things on the map, and so on and so forth. So the first thing, I have two images here. Uh, this is a map. On the right, you can see a map of San Fernando, Trinidad. And basically, on the left, you can see a key. So when you open up a map, most of the time, we're going to be using this key to figure out what's going on the map, and so on and so forth. If you guys have any questions during while I'm explaining things, just let me know. If something seems confusing or I didn't explain it properly, just let me know, and I'll try to rework and explain it better than I did previously. So I have no idea if y'all can see this image properly, but just in case, I am going to pull up another image here, make this one, and kind of zoom in on this one. So as you can see on the key, we have many different things. We have kind of the roads. We have vegetation over here, some swamp forest, mangrove swamp, sugarcane. It also gives us police stations and so on and so forth. And then at the bottom you kind of have this other picture where you have like a quarry, a crater, and such. Now, if we look on the map of Trinidad, this is a picture that I took from a book. If you look at this map and we zoom in, we can see we also have many different things on this map. So basically what we want to do is use this key to understand what is going on said map. So when you look at the map, one of the first things you notice is a lot of these kind of black dark spot areas. And if you look at our key, we can see over here, these are buildings and buildings public other, which means basically any building that you might have in Trinidad, San Fernando. So from this we can get an idea of how the buildings are packed, get an idea for what the living situation is like in San Fernando and such. We can also get an idea for, if we look over here, we can see some rivers, so we can get an idea of what the drainage is like and see how the rivers are flowing through the country. Now, CSEC may ask you some questions such as, you know, what vegetation do you have towards the south of the country or something like that. So over here, if you look, this is not, I guess the picture quality is not that well, but this is, if we look to over here to the top right of the key, we can see some coconut trees, which is what this is. When I took the image, this is what it was. So when you get your paper, it's probably not going to be as bad quality as this picture or whatever. It's probably going to be easier to see, but we just matched the coconut trees here, and we would say they're coconut trees in the south of the island, and so on and so forth. Now, to say something's in the south of the island or whatever, it's kind of a bad sense of direction kind of thing to do. For example, you know, let's say you're in Vista Bella, for example, and you say, oh yeah, I'm going to the south of the island. The south could mean anywhere along the south of the island. The south could mean Duncan. You could be going here to this road. You could be going anywhere over here. So for that, we could use many different forms of saying where you plan to go. We could either use a compass direction, or we could use what I'm about to teach next, grid references. So we're gonna go move on to grid references real quick. Now, grid references are a good way to kind of get an idea of where something is situated. Now here I have a small grid. There are two types of grid references. There are 4-figure grid references, and there are 6-figure grid references. 4-figure means you're gonna have 4 figures. 6 just means you're gonna have 6. Now, what we're gonna do? We're gonna start with a 4-figure grid reference because that's the simplest one we can start off with. Here, Now, if we look at the slide here, I have like a kind of cartoonish map, like a kind of like almost a kid's nursery drawing almost, and basically, um, let's start off with North Woods. Let's say I want to know where on the map North Woods is, and CSEC told me I needed to give them a grid reference for where North Woods is. The first thing we're gonna do is look at the axis for the map. Look along the axis and look at these numbers along the x-axis over here at the bottom, the x-axis at the bottom. A great way to remember which number goes first is down the corridor, then up the stairs. So you want the number at below first before you go for the ones on the y-axis. Now, as I said, we're going to go for North Woods here. And North Woods is at 0 because it goes to the right. We're going to the right in terms of numbering. So North Woods is at 0. And then when we go up, it's also at 11. So the grid reference for North Woods would be 0, 0, 11, 11. If you don't understand that, I can also do another one. For example, let's do Hadley Lake. So the 4-figure grid reference for Hadley Lake, we go along the bottom, 0, 2, because we're looking for this grid square right here. That would be 0, 2, 0, 9. So this grid square right here would be where the Hadley Lake is located. So the 4-figure grid reference for this square would be 0, 2, 0, 9. Now, a thing you always have to remember, you always have to go from the x-axis first, along the corridor first, then up the stairs. Because if you put the y-axis first, you're going to get it wrong. And a lot of children tend to confuse that. That's something you definitely do not want to do. Okay. Now, 6-figure grid references are a bit more complicated. So let me just get a image real quickly. All right.
Sir,
Yes.
what to call you, Mr. Buffett?
Sir, it's fine.
For the
It doesn't matter.
sir,
Aaron's fine.
you know. So people use it. Well, people use this to find people, right? Like, well,
Um, not really people. If
a search, like to search a search area.
yeah,
Like,
you could. So let me if I go back to the map to the last slide first. If I bring back the map here, hold on.
yeah, I remember you saying with the coconuts.
Okay, so if I bring back this map here, let's say I'm looking for Pleasantville. You can barely see the numbering on the side here, but let's say this was a 0, a 0, 5. If I wanted the grid reference for Pleasantville, right? The 4-figure grid reference, I would go here at the bottom, 69, and then say this is 05, I would say 6905, and it would take me to this grid square right here. So I would say Pleasantville is located in the grid square 6905. Does that make sense?
It gotta be that's how I see them. The way I see.
Yes, the x-axis
They go
first,
call
and then the white.
set of safety for okay.
Yeah, along the corridor, up the stairs. That's very important. Right, so back to 6-figure grid references, which are slightly more complicated, but not the worst thing in the world. So, to do a 6-figure grid reference, right, we have to look at a grid. Give me a second, let me just get this image. Now, what this is it looks very similar to what a grid reference is. So, as we know, this square here is a grid. This is what you call a grid. And then you use these numbers to reference the grids. 6905, what we just discussed. Now, this isn't exactly the most precise thing when it comes to dotting out. Say I wanted exactly um, where I wanted to know exactly where this triangle thing here, which is called a trig station. You call it trig station in geography. So I wanted to know exactly where this trig station was. I couldn't just give I just kind of just give a four-figure grid reference because that would be the whole square. It wouldn't tell me, oh, it's exactly at this point. So that's where we have six-figure grid references, which tell us that um, the exact point to where this trig station would be. Now, most of the time, when you're doing one of these, let me see if I can open this in Paint. No, I don't think I can. Okay, that's fine. Oh wait, maybe. I think I can. So, what you would do is, let's pretend this right here is the same grid as this trig station. Let's ignore these numbers for the meantime, and let's say this is the grid square 1844 because this is where it starts. So the four-figure grid reference would be 1844. Now, if I wanted this exact point, I would draw 9 equal lines through the grid to try to split it up to make it smaller. So basically making a grid inside a grid. So when I draw these 9 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I have to draw 9 vertical lines and 9 horizontal lines. So in this square, I would do something like, let me see if I can, the ballpoint would probably be the best for this. I would split this in 9 equal parts. Okay, that's not gonna work. That's too thick. But yeah, I can't really draw it out right here. But I would draw that in 9 equal parts. I would split it in 9 equal parts so I can get the most precise image, the most precise point. So when I split it into 9 parts, let's say I want this red dot right here. The four-figure grid reference for this red dot would be, I would take my easting along the corridor first. So the first thing I would say take is the 18 from our four-figure grid reference. And then I would also need to take the nearest one in our six-figure grid reference, which would be the 5. So this red dot would be 18, 5. And then I want to look for the northing, which would be 44, 3. So the six-figure grid reference for this red dot would be 18, 5, 44, 3. I hope that wasn't too confusing, because as I said, it's a bit hard to explain while doing it electronically. But yes, so for let me, this might be an easier thing to do. Oh, let me do that. This might be an easier way to do this. If I bring up a grid here and give me a second. If I use this right here. Now, with this right here, let's say I wanted to put a point on this map over here. And I wanted to know, I wanted a grid reference for this point. A six-figure grid reference, that is. The four-figure grid reference would be 0, 3. And then along the corridor, 0, 3. Up the stairs, 0, 9. 0, 3, 0, 9. That would be the four-figure grid reference. But if I wanted the six-figure grid reference, I would go to the specific grid that the point is in. I would split 9 long lines. This is going to be very scuffed because drawing on computer is not the easiest thing. I don't know if there's something that could help me straighten lines. I have no clue. But yes, I would have to draw 9 straight lines.
How would you define point? Mark right top right.
Yeah, but that's I still have to get it straight. You have to draw 9 straight lines. It's not gonna be I'm not gonna be able to put it straight. Oh wait, here we are. This should do it maybe. Okay, this is a bit too thick. So yeah, let's say, yeah, let's put 9 straight lines along the grid, all equally spaced out, of course. Um, this is gonna take me a while to do, but like, let's imagine there were 9 straight lines along here, and then I'd have to draw another 9 straight lines along here, and then basically do another grid inside a grid. So if there were 9 straight lines along, let's imagine,
Oh, I understand me.
yeah, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so on and so forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 going up. So this would be around somewhere around. This would be like 5 because this is halfway, and this would be like 6 because this is a little more than halfway up. So the 6-figure grid reference would be 035 because you get 5 from the bottom here, and then 035 096 from the 6 from over here. I hope that's clear for everyone to understand. Uh,
Yeah, I understand.
okay, good. Um,
So like we gotta put it in brackets or like say
no,
zero, it'll be
it's
zero three zero
you just
nine
put the number down exactly how it is.
03096.
Yeah, don't forget to take the numbers from the bottom first and then the top. As I said, that was very
Yeah,
important.
you know.
Next thing we're gonna look at is another form of direction, which is compass direction. Now, they are there are different cardinal points. This is what we call them on compasses. This is a four cardinal point compass where you only have north, south, east, and west. Um, this right here is 8, and this is 16. So, at fifth form, you're gonna be using this 16-point cardinal compass for direction. So once again, I'm gonna pull up the image of um this map over here. Now, if I put this in paint as I did just now, or just be able to draw on it, should be fine enough. Now, if I, let's say, uh, for example, you were at St. Joseph, right? Let's put a blue mark here for St. Joseph. Let's say this was St. Joseph, right? And you wanted to know what direction St. Joseph was from Vista Bella. So we have St. Joseph and we have Vista Bella. Now, so for that we have to use a compass direction. Now, if I draw a compass on Vista Bella, this is gonna be not straight at all because. So we have north, south, east, west. We have north, south, east, and west. But obviously, if I tell someone, oh, Vestabella is sorry, Joseph is southeast from Vestabella, then they're gonna be like, sorry, if I tell them it's east from Vestabella, then they're gonna be kind of confused because they go east now and there's no Vestabella over here. So that's why we had to extend the compass to a 16-point cardinal direction compass so we could have a
That
better
was go.
understanding of direction.
This has 8 point. They got 16 at 8 point.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, then we
But you're
know
gonna
there was
be
north, north, east, and I didn't know what I know about southwest.
exactly. So, um, what we would do is we would draw a compass on Vistabella, and we know it's gonna be in this general direction. So we're gonna go south, and we know this is east. Now we're gonna draw another line here through here, and that would be southeast through the middle of south and east is southeast, and we know that between
No,
so we know here from this image that between southeast and east we have east southeast, which would be a whole other line over here.
it's
So
weird.
this would be east south east, which would be the direction you would say Saint Joseph is from Vista. So if asked what direction Joseph is from Vista, you would say Saint Joseph is east southeast from Vista, based on the
Sure.
16-point compass direction, cardinal direction compass.
People actually use this though. The 60 point, or I see most people use like the 8 point.
Yeah, people do use the 16 point. At CSEC level, you have to use the 16 point compass, I'm pretty sure. It's required. Or, yeah, I'm 99% sure you have to use a 16-point compass because when asking for direction as a geography student, you have to be very specific in the direction that you want that you're going. So the 16 point is needed to be used.
Okay.
Um,
Um, question.
yep.
It didn't like. Will you be giving us like homework or no?
Um,
No homework.
no, I will not. However, if you do have homework from school or whatever you're being taught geography, I don't mind. I have office hours, or even I don't even think I'm gonna finish this class on at 7 on the dot. So if at the end of the class you feel like you want to ask me something, or there's something you didn't really want to that you didn't really understand, or you want me to go back over, I don't mind staying and helping out. That's fine with me. Uh, that's all fine. If there's something you don't understand, I can stay and help out. But I'm not gonna be giving homework. If you have homework you need help with, I would be able to help with that. That's fine.
Yeah, my teacher be giving us a lot of assignments, so I might need help.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Um, Now that's really all I had planned for today. Um, the next class I will be going over uh bearings, which would be basically uh basically also to do with the compass, where you would have a compass and you would uh draw kind of like this, which is something you need a protractor for. So I don't know, I might have to play a video for y'all, cause basically you have a line and you have to put a protractor on said line and get like a bearing in degrees from how the degrees a point is from another point, which is kind of hard to explain without a protractor and doing it physically. As I said, about work is not the easiest thing to explain physically. I mean, but electronically, but I'm gonna do the best I can, and even maybe find some videos on an easier way. I might send some videos in the geography chat, the fifth form geography
Uh-huh.
chat, just so you guys can get a better understanding of what I taught today. Um, but yeah, I'll try to explain that as best as I can. Um, I think that's gonna end my session for today. It's very short, introductory class to geography. I didn't want to go stretch it too wide.